Why did Netflix make an $82 billion play for Warner Brothers? Warner Bros. Discovery announced that it would spin off its old cable networks, CNN, HGTV, the whole legacy bundle, into this separate company. And Netflix would swoop in to buy the part that actually matters, which is the Warner Bros. Film and TV studio, HBO Max, and the massive library behind them. It's mostly a cash deal, but the wild part is that if regulators do block it, Netflix will still owe Warner about $6 billion. The big question here is why now? And why such a big swing from a company that's historically not been that big on M&A? The main answer is that Netflix has global distribution and subscriber scale, but it doesn't necessarily have the same caliber of forever IP that fuels Disney and Warner. This deal would instantly give Netflix some of the most valuable franchises on earth: Harry Potter, DC, Lord of the Rings, Dune, and the entire HBO catalog. If Netflix wants to dominate entertainment for the next decade, it needs some of that cultural gravity. This wasn't just an offensive play though. It was also defense because Netflix wasn't the only bidder. Paramount, Skydance, and Comcast both wanted Warner, and if either of them succeeded, it would have created a very real competitor to Netflix. Another company with elite IP, a strong theatrical machine, and a streaming strategy. And so this is where the breakup fee becomes pretty strategic. Even if regulators come in and kill the merger, Netflix is basically tying up Warner for a year or two, which keeps Paramount or Comcast from buying them. And in that sense, the $6 billion check is almost like an anti-rival tax. It's expensive, but worth it if it preserves Netflix's lead. On Warner's side, it makes sense to sell because the company has been through a pretty brutal run of mergers. AOL, AT&T, Discovery, each of these add more debt and more complexity. And they're basically stretched right now between declining cable networks and a very competitive streaming market. By selling their studio and streaming assets to Netflix, it's a clean way for them to reset, pay down their debt, simplify their business, and give their assets to a buyer with the capital to actually grow them. And it also doesn't hurt that their CEO, David Zaslav, reportedly stands to make hundreds of millions if this deal closes, and he's far more likely to keep a major role under Netflix than under a Paramount-led takeover. So in short, Netflix wants the IP, they want the content engine, and the advantage of keeping their rivals weak. Warner wants a clean exit, a simpler structure, and an owner for the next era. And almost everyone that's involved in this knows that regulators may blow up the deal anyway.